And the Republican nominee for the House Speaker will need 217 GOP votes to win if all members vote. In a closed-door vote this week, Jordan got 99 votes. Scalise got 113. So joining us to talk about it all now is friend of the stream, former head of the Illinois GOP party, Pat Brady. Pat, your party, former party, still party, no longer the head of the party, ousted from the party, whatever you want to define yourself as.
I like parties.
They're a mess right now. So Scalise is clearly the favorite. I mean, and he was probably the guy that could unite and coalesce even Democratic votes. Now he's out. And Jim Jordan, who is a big Trump supporter, a lot of say kind of right of right, the Republican out of Ohio. I mean, does he get a chance to get enough votes to be the House Speaker?
I think not. I'll tell you why. Because there are 18 members of the United States House of Representatives that are Republicans, where Joe Biden won their district in 2020. Oh, okay. So, and Jim Jordan's the leader of the impeachment proceedings. So if they're sitting there thinking, okay, if I vote for Jim Jordan, the mailers, the attack ads write themselves. This guy is the one that's running this legit or illegitimate impeachment inquiry against Joe Biden, a guy I voted for. So I think that would be damaging to anybody that voted for Joe Biden, and they're just not going to vote for him.
So how are you going to get enough votes?
I don't think he can. That's my point.
So who? How are they going to get
the votes?
What?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure. Maybe it's Patrick McHenry, the temporary speaker. Yeah. And it happens that somebody comes out of left field. Remember when Speaker Hastert won, 25 years ago, he wasn't the one that was supposed to win. Remember he got up and gave a big speech, the guy Wright from Louisiana, and stepped down, and then Hastert ended up being the speaker. When Paul Ryan became speaker, he didn't even want it, and they put him in. So it can come from anywhere, but it's really difficult to envision how these 17 or 18 people are going to come together with the rest of the caucus. And as we talked about last time, 85–90% of the caucus agrees on Scalise, and they agreed on McCarthy. It's just this faction of people that don't want to govern. They just want to hold things up. And this is not new. It's been going on for 8 or 9 years.
I mean, you say like Hastert didn't want it. And
Hastert wanted it, but he wasn't the front runner. But Ryan didn't even want it.
Exactly, and Ryan didn't even want it. But they were also kind of always in that sphere of, hey, this may be our guy anyways. Right now, it seems to be more.
Well, McHenry, maybe Tom Emmer. There's some people that are in the mix, but I agree with you. They're not anybody. There's nobody front and center.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing really, and this is a horrible thing to say because of all the tragedy that's going on in the world, the only thing that's saving the Republicans in the House politically now is everybody's distracted, and rightfully so, by what's going on in Israel, so not paying attention like they did maybe 2 weeks ago.
Okay, so let's skip our next question, go to Israel right now. Obviously, Gaza is front and center, what is happening in Israel. We have got a motion in front of City Council today to show support for Israel. Obviously there's a war in Ukraine that people have supported, and, we see some of that support waning. We are at a time where, a year and a half ago, Chicago with open arms about migrants, and now there are questions about whether some people want Chicago to be a sanctuary city. As a political advisor, so many hot button issues out there where the public has begun to waffle on things that were once sacrosanct, like keeping Chicago a sanctuary city or supporting Ukraine going against Russia. How do you advise those that you advise, knowing how fickle the public is right now, to take certain stances on things?
Well, I think each of those are distinct. Let's start with,
obviously.
But just distinct in the political part, like in Chicago, the sanctuary city issue, whether or not we're going to pay for these migrants that are coming up from the border states. And everyone, or a lot of people in Chicago, the progressives in particular, are like that when you didn't have to pay for it. Right. But now the problem probably for the mayor, and I'm sure he recognizes this, is his supporting the African-American community. They're the ones that are the most outraged by it. Why is all this money going to migrants? Why aren't we getting what we've been asking for? So it's a really, I think, difficult political issue for the mayor, because they're going to have to come up with a lot of money, as it is with the governor. But on the other issues, on Ukraine, I do believe there is overwhelming support in the House and the Senate to support Ukraine. But like any war, after a while, you want to know where the money's going. And there is a divide even on the Israel issue. There is a small but vocal segment that doesn't think we should be doing as much as we're doing with Israel. So they're difficult political questions. But my advice to any political candidate, at least as a conservative, stick with your principles. If you believe that we should support Israel, which I do, and I think a lot of conservatives do because they're the democracy in the Middle East that we need to support, a longtime ally, then we support them. Same with Ukraine. They're our bridge to keep keep this from escalating into Taiwan. But I think the most difficult issue is the one that the mayor faces. This is going to be a real problem for him. It's going to get cold tonight. Yeah. And there's a lot of people up in Streeterville where I live. There's a lot of people roaming around that need to be housed, and we need to take care of it. But it's easy to do it and talk about sanctuary city, and we're welcoming and we love everyone. We don't have to pay for it. But when it becomes a budget problem, then it becomes a political problem.
We were talking with one volunteer group yesterday who's trying to help migrants, and they say when they talk with the city about where to send their help, of all the good deeds that are being done and given to them, the city doesn't even know what they're doing, doesn't know where to send them. And the first thing they're asking for, on your tip, is they need adult-sized winter coats.
Sure, but listen, in their defense, this is not their issue. This is a border security issue.
Right.
I lived on the border for years, and it's a mess down there. It has been for a long time, and we haven't addressed it as a nation like we should have. And I never agreed with the build the wall stuff, but we need a secure border. It's not just a humanitarian issue; it's a national security issue, and especially with Hamas now declaring jihad today. People coming across the border, we got to know who's coming into our country. So, the city of Chicago is stuck with this issue because the feds aren't doing their job, and the feds aren't exactly coming in to help us. And
oddly enough, the guy who brings it to the forefront is the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, who came up with the idea of busing.
From a humanitarian perspective, it's abusive, and I don't agree with it at all. But politically, if you're living in Texas, you're saying the same thing. Why am I paying for this? And that was their way to answer. They sent it to the big cities, and they sent it to the Northeast. It's horrible, though. I mean, these are human beings, and we're treating them horribly. But what are you going to do? The feds need to help. The feds need to help.
Yeah. Okay. Pat Brady, we appreciate your time this Friday morning. It's always a pleasure.
Friday the 13th, buddy. Be careful out there. I walked under a ladder on the way here. Yeah, I saw a black rat. I saw a black rat in my
probably it was a cat.
No, I think it was a rat.
Maybe a cat-sized rat. Okay, Pat Brady, thank you. You're watching the stream on CBS News Chicago. Ahead, jury delivers a verdict for 2 Colorado cops for their involvement in the death of Elijah McClain. What it could mean for other first responders charged in that case. Welcome back to the stream, which we keep an eye on your world this Friday. A jury has delivered a verdict for the 2 Aurora, Colorado police officers arrested in the Elijah McClain case.
The unarmed 23-year-old black man died after he was subdued by police and injected with ketamine by paramedics in 2019. Randy Rodema was found guilty of criminally negligent homicide and assault. Now, the second officer, Jason Rosenblatt, was acquitted of all charges. That included reckless manslaughter and assault. A third officer and 2 paramedics are set to go to trial in the coming weeks. The 3 have also pleaded not guilty.
Nearly a week after earthquakes rocked western Afghanistan, many are still sleeping outside in tents, afraid of more quakes, and collapsing buildings. Entire villages were destroyed when multiple earthquakes struck last Saturday and Wednesday. The Taliban-led government has given conflicting numbers on the death toll, ranging from 1,000 to 2,400 people.
Well, you're watching the stream here on CBS News Chicago. Thanks for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Yeah, coming up, more rain is on the way, and with it, a bigger chance we'll see a flood. One neighborhood on the south side is teaming up with the Department of Energy to prepare for the future of flooding.
Well, these trick-or-treaters are cute, the candy's sweet, but scary season is officially upon us. And we've got boots on the ground at one of the scariest places in the Chicago area. You don't want to miss it, or maybe you do. Stay tuned. We'll see you then.
This is CBS 2 News.
Good morning, I'm Adrena Sinclair with your headlines here on CBS 2 and CBS News Chicago. First, let's get to meteorologist Gerard Bailey in our First Alert Weather Center with a weather alert this morning.
Good morning, guys. It's going to be a busy weekend. Today is where it sort of starts, but we're not seeing any major activity out there just yet. Quiet enough for the time being. We've got clouds everywhere, temperatures in the 50s. We're going to see a lot of rain start pushing in here as we move to the afternoon. We're mostly dry through the morning, but get ready. We're tracking a lot of heavy rainfall, some flooding possible today and tomorrow. We even have a chance for some storms to be strong to severe. Winds will be gusting today, 25 to 30 miles per hour. Moving into the weekend, it's still going to be pretty messy. Temperatures hardly budge. We are not drying out until we get into next week.
All right, Gerard, thank you. It is 7:26 right now. Getting a check of your First Alert traffic on our inbound side. We're seeing the inbound Kennedy very slow this morning, and the Edens slowing down as we speak. Of course, wet roads don't help the commute in the morning. And closing arguments in a ruling are expected in the case of 2 former DCFS employees accused of endangering the life of A.J. Freund. He's the 5-year-old Crystal Lake boy who was murdered 4.5 years ago. Prosecutors say the 2 former child welfare workers ignored the red flags. Police reports and DCFS records indicate a history of problems at that family's home. A.J. was reported missing in April of 2019. His body was found a week later, and his parents were convicted on murder charges. It was a very, very tragic story. In other news, a new report from Chicago's Inspector General found that 110 CPD officers who have been found to have filed false reports are still on the force, despite a department rule. We're digging into that and much more on the stream. We'll see you there right after this. Have a good one.
Clear.
So like this thing, like I
Welcome back. You're watching the stream on CBS News Chicago. Happy Friday. I'm Brad Edwards.
And I'm Audrina Sinclair. Thanks for being with us this morning. Closing arguments will wrap up for two former child welfare workers charged in connection with the 2019 death of little 5-year-old A.J. Freund.
Yeah, two are charged with endangering a child's life and reckless conduct. Our Darius Johnson joins us from the newsroom to tell us what we can expect today after days of testimony.
At 9:30 this morning, we can expect closing arguments to begin at the McHenry County Courthouse. And then after that, the judge presiding over this trial will give a ruling for the two. Carlos Acosta and Andrew Polovin are charged with endangering the life of a child and reckless conduct. Prosecutors say the two ignored red flags. 5-year-old A.J. Freund was reported missing from his Crystal Lake home back in April of 2019. His body was found a week later in a shallow grave. His parents were convicted on murder charges, and police reports and DCFS records indicate a history of problems at the family's home. An ER doctor and an officer who witnessed bruises on AJ took the stand throughout the trial. In both instances, cases were closed and bruises were left ignored. We spoke to our legal analyst about the rare charges against child welfare workers.
That is probably the most important decision that the state could make, to remove a child from their parents' home. And the department has shown throughout the years that they don't always make the right decision in the decision-making process that they're supposed to be going through.
Neither of the two former child welfare workers testified during the trial. AJ's parents, if you remember, were convicted on murder charges in connection to his death. His mother, Joanne Cunningham, was sentenced to 35 years in prison, while his father, Andrew Freund Sr., was sentenced to 30 years. In the newsroom this morning, I'm Darius Johnson, CBS 2 News.
Darius, thank you so much. Here at 7:32, switching to our first alert weather this morning on this Friday, October 13th. We made it to the end of the work week at least. Taking a live look now over the Field Museum and also Soldier Field as we bring in meteorologist Gerard Jabali in the First Alert Weather Center.
Good morning. I don't know how lucky you guys feel on a Friday 13th, how superstitious you are, but I don't think we're exactly going to be too lucky going into this weekend with our weather.
All right.
Yeah.
Kind of messy.
Unless you like rain.
I mean, I do. But that's if you get to stay inside during it and just get cozy with it. For us, that we might have to head out this morning. It's okay for now, but the weekend is where we want to be able to enjoy it, and that's going to be tough to do. So let's take you through what is happening. Outside, not bad yet, so you don't have to really worry about too much rainfall, but later on today, this afternoon, it's not just going to be the kind you need the umbrella, it's going to be the kind that can turn your umbrella inside out. We've got a lot of strong winds coming in with it. Right now, east winds are around 15 miles per hour, temperatures around 58 degrees. This is a pretty strong storm system off to the west, centered right there just around Omaha, but all the energy out ahead of it's really going to blast through and bring us some good rainfall chances. We can pretty much guarantee it. And with it also some wind will accompany these heavier rain showers and thunderstorms. So the radar right now just showing a few spots of rain just to the outskirts, but really we're going to see better chances this afternoon. With those thunderstorms coming through, some of them could be strong to severe. It's a level 1 out of 5, so it's not particularly high, but a couple storms could produce damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour. So that could easily turn umbrellas inside out and maybe even a couple of roofs if you're very unlucky. So here we go with your clouds and radar future. We're talking about windy conditions all day, but as those thunderstorms roll through, that'll definitely pick up with some wind, and also the very heavy rainfall. That's likely to come through later on after lunchtime through the early afternoon. We may get a small break before we'll see another round of showers. These may not be very strong. The severe threat's only going to be through early afternoon today and then ending by later on tonight. And we'll see, again, the rain chances will still linger. And with that, also the wind. As we move into Saturday, the winds will come out of the north and east, pretty strong off the lake here. So lakeshore folks are going to really see this storm system today and tomorrow. All right, rainfall totals over the next couple of days from it will be pretty significant, 1 to 2 inches. We could see some pockets or isolated patchy areas of isolated flooding here, but it's not going to be the extremely heavy stuff. 58 degrees today is all we're going to get to. Some morning showers, but the afternoon is going to be the most active time with the very heavy rain and thunderstorms. We're not done with it until we get well past the weekend. So still the rainfall and breezy conditions on Saturday. You could almost call it windy with wind gusts over 30 miles per hour. And then on Sunday, still some lingering showers and still fairly cool, 54 degrees, but the rainfall is going to start tapering a little bit. It's not going to be completely washing you out for your Sunday and then tapering more for Monday as well. Finally, we'll get back to some drier weather as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday before we got another shot coming our way on Thursday. Hey, that's fall in a nutshell, I would say.
All right, Gerard, that is indeed. As the area prepares for more rain, one community that struggled with some of the worst flooding in the region is taking action. Chatham is a neighborhood with a lot of concrete and little green space after devastating floods this summer. The Great Chatham Initiative, a community group, is teaming up with scientists from the U.S. Department of Energy's National Laboratory to prepare for the future. Researchers are developing new methodology and computer simulations of the neighborhood to try to predict flood risks in the future.
So climate change is not the only factor, but one of the critical factors when we see how we plan for the future and how it affects floods.
The National Research Team will be at work for the next 5 years. You can learn more about it on their website.
And the Chicago City Council is also preparing for future floods. They're holding a joint committee meeting later today. Members of the Public Safety Committee will be there along with the Environmental Protection and Energy Committee. They'll hear from the Chicago Department of Transportation, the Department of Water Management, and also the Metro Water Reclamation District. The goal is to learn more about how to mitigate and also respond to extreme floods yet to come.
Hamas says Israel's bombardment of the Gaza Strip has killed 13 hostages, including foreigners. Here are the latest overnight developments. Israel issued a directive to hundreds of thousands of people in the city, telling them they should evacuate for their own safety and protection. The Israeli government says Palestinians should go deeper south into South Gaza Strip to avoid what the Israeli military calls a ground invasion with significant forces coming in the days ahead. In response, the military group Hamas calls on Palestinians to stay in their homes. The United Nations says much massive movement of people would have devastating humanitarian consequences.
And here at home, we are following new information on the 2023 Deerfield High School graduate who hasn't been heard from since the attack by Hamas in Israel. Natalie Renan's family says the Israeli government tells them she was taken hostage by Hamas and is believed to be alive. There's no update so far on Natalie's mom, Judith, however. The mother and daughter were visiting family near the Gaza border. We know at least 10 people were killed and more than a dozen taken hostage from the community they were visiting. The family says they hope that Natalie and Judith are together.
Judith, Natalie, keep your faith, keep strong. We love you here.
Natalie's family says they are hoping for a hostage exchange, not just for her, but for everyone who is currently being held. Members of Chicago's Jewish community honored the victims of the violence in Israel and Palestine last night. The group gathered near Belmont Harbor on the lakefront. They sang songs of peace and also recited a traditional Jewish prayer of mourning.
More than 200 young Muslims from the southwest suburbs are marching their way are marching their way to one of the biggest parades in the country.
The Lincoln Way High School marching band headed to the Rose Parade, which is a really big deal.
Yeah.
Yes.
They'll be performing in the 2025 parade in their fourth appearance in the California parade. The last time was 2019.
All right. So, spooky season is upon us.
Yeah.
Brad, we learned yesterday that you like to hand out candy and candy bars.
Big candy.
Big candy. And you love Halloween, but do you like haunted houses?
No.
Me either.
No. I mean, I like to dress up. I like to celebrate, like the big candy, but not big on getting scared.
Yeah,
you know?
it's a little. All right, so you know who really hates haunted houses? Marissa Perlman.
Yeah.
So you know what we did? We said, let's go to the scariest one in the state. Let's just send her there. Marissa joining us now from Basement of the Dead in Aurora. Marissa, a little tough to see you. How are you doing? Have you been scared so far?
We're starting slow and easy, guys. But I'm saying, throw me out of a plane, put me in the middle of Lake Michigan. I would rather do so many more things than go through a haunted house, let alone one of the scariest haunted houses actually in the world. They've been ranked in 2017 one of the scariest haunted houses in the world. So we're gonna see how this goes. Do you know how much I love my job to be doing this, guys? Okay. But I want to bring in Trevor. He's one of the brains behind the operation here at Basement of the Dead in Aurora. Thank you so much for waking up early with us, because you guys are up all night, scaring people.
Oh yeah, no, we were here pretty late last night, but it's all right. We're used to kind of like quick start operations, so.
Now, we're in one room that is very special. Tell us about where we're standing right now.
Yeah, so this is our underwater themed room. It's kind of a very chaotic, in-your-face style room, and it ties a lot of the other rooms in the haunted house together. It's supposed to be a kind of like old sea god that is trapping all of these poor people and all these poor souls in his little crazy world of creatures and all kinds of underwater stuff, so.
And there takes so much work to put all of this together. I'm grateful to see a little bit of the behind the scenes before I go through it myself.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially this room specifically, all the detail work that was involved. This has been kind of an ongoing project over the years, and we just recently turned it into what it is that you're seeing right now.
Okay. How many months does it take to prep for this season?
I would say most of the summer. Okay. Depends on what we're doing. Most of the time when we're changing things up, we have a vision, and really the concept takes the longest. It's the detailing at the end, usually about a few weeks per room at least.
Okay. And how many ghosts and goblin and dead people are going to be joining us, or normally join us through the basement?
Oh, I mean, it is completely packed with every kind of monster that you can imagine. I don't want to give you any real numbers, but it's going to feel like you're surrounded by hundreds of things.
Oh my, wonderful. That is just fantastic. Now, I know we were talking about this, that the basement is rated one of the scariest in the state, in the country, at one point in the world. What does that mean? How scary is scary?
I mean, look at it this way. Even if you walk through this place with everything off, just our setting alone, we're in a real over 100-year-old building in the basement. You get that authentic smell, the authentic eerie feelings, and we really play on like your traditional fears of fear of the dark, loud noises, being watched, being followed. And that kind of is what sets us apart a little bit.
Yeah, you guys might have heard some wonderful screams joining us in the basement already this morning. It is Friday the 13th, I should mention. What special do you guys do to honor that day, especially Halloween month?
Oh yeah, so Friday the 13th, we do like a classic movie monster mashup. So we're gonna have all of your traditional slasher film killers and monsters. We're gonna have Jason Voorhees, Mike Myers, all of that kind of stuff, inside and outside of the haunted house. Because another thing we do is we have a very big presence on our outside show.
Amazing. Well, I guess I'm excited to go through this. I hope I make it out the other end. Let's see what happens. I'll join you guys here in our next hour, and hope I survive the basement. For now, I'll send it back to you guys, Brad and Audrina.
I want to see the behind the scenes of you going through this, genuine reaction. I hope we can deliver that.
Oh, we're bringing it to you live.
Okay,
bringing it to you live, baby.
All right, we'll see you soon, Marissa.
Well, Basement of the Dead is located at 42 West New York Street in Aurora and is open Wednesday through Sundays. General admission tickets are $30, but they have discounts for the nights you see on your screen. For more information, go to thebasementofthedead.com. You're watching the stream on CBS News Chicago. We appreciate it. Keep it right here.
Yes, we've got some good news for those receiving Social Security payments. Why your checks may be getting a bit bigger.
Deep inside the depths of the gloom, at the edge of despair, alone in the room.
And as Marissa mentioned, today is Friday the 13th. Some people love it, others hate it, terrified of it. All right, so it's called, I'm gonna try this. It's Paraskevodectrophobia. It's derived from the Greek words from Friday, 13, and fear, Brad.
Interesting. Well, there's a lot of theories behind the origins of the unluckiness of the day, including some stemming from Norse mythology, Christianity, and even dating back to the Middle Ages. Welcome back to the stream on the Money Watch this morning. Wall Street snapped a 4-day winning streak over worries the latest inflation report should spur another interest rate hike from the Federal Reserve.
And this as there's some welcome news for seniors about Social Security. We'll start with that. Benefits set to increase next year due to a 3.2% cost of living adjustment. The Social Security Administration says the average benefit will jump by around $50. It's set to start in January. And despite the higher payments, the new increase is not quite as high as the 8.7% bump recipients received this year.
Family Dollar is recalling many of its over-the-counter drugs and medical products because they may not have been stored at the right temperatures. The products were sold by Family Dollar from June 1st through October 4th. The recall includes medicine, vitamins, and toothpaste. There are no reports of anyone getting sick. You can return the recalled products to the store.
The latest government data shows inflation cooled slightly last month. Consumer prices rose just under 0.5% from August to September, which is down from the month before. Price hikes at the grocery store getting closer to normal levels, as those have only gone up about 2.5%. However, rent remains a problem, with housing costs rising more than 7%. We talked about Friday the 13th. If that's not for you, there's something else to talk about.
Yeah, it is also another important day in Chicago. Chicago's Fine Arts Building is celebrating its 125th anniversary today. The building opened in 1887 as a carriage assembly room before transforming into a Michigan Avenue icon. 11 years later, Mayor Brandon Johnson, or rather, it's got to be like 125 years later, I think that was meant to say, has officially declared today as Fine Arts Building Day in Chicago. You can join the celebration between 5 and 9 tonight. You can enjoy everything from a free concert to exhibits featuring dozens of artists and other free programs. The museum is located at 410 South Michigan.
All right, well, you're watching the stream here on CBS News Chicago. Thanks for being with us on this Friday.
Yeah, we do appreciate it. Keep it right here. Coming up.
After half a century working out of a church basement, a local food pantry finally has a new home of their own. Our Jamaica Ponder went to go check it out. We'll have that when we come back. Welcome back to the stream. Glad you're here with us this morning. After over 50 years of operating out of a church basement, the city's longest running food pantry finally has its own home.
Yeah, it's great news. The Stream's Jamaica Ponder has more from their new spot in Ravenswood.
This whole bag has some pineapple, apples, potatoes, onions.
Oh, I didn't know that much. I just wanted one or two.
Oh, I mean, you can have all this if you want it.
Folks who do their grocery shopping at Common Pantry don't need to worry about bringing any change. They just grab a cart, a number, and whatever their family needs.
The goal is to make sure that that everybody who is in need gets the food that they need or the services that they need.
Margaret O'Connor is at the helm of Common Pantry's free food distribution programs.
You can take your cart as you see.
Community members are welcomed in to grab a hot lunch or peruse the makeshift grocery store for ingredients.
And shop your way around, choosing the food that is best for your family.
Common Pantry's been giving out free food since the 60s. But this year, it looks a little different.
We own our building now. It's a real accomplishment.
They bought this spot on North Lincoln Avenue and fully renovated it in just a year's time.
The community came together. The volunteer building committee was doing work that people get paid to do.
Inside, it's bright, clean, and fully stocked.
There's a lot of pride in what we've created here for the people who sometimes have a really hard time asking for help and are in crisis.
And they've only moved down the block from their old spot at the church.
One of the priorities was staying in the neighborhood that we've been in for so long and just being able to be accessible to people.
And by being that missing link when it gets tough to make ends meet.
We want people to, and encourage people to pay that utility bill and utilize Common Pantries.
From rice and beans to diapers and even ceramic plates. If you need it and they've got it, you're welcome to take it with you.
So you come here and you're really, it's a reflection of dignity that we want everybody to feel, not only those who have the resources, but for those who don't.
Yes. Jamaica Ponder from Ravenswood.
Okay, got it.
CBS News, Chicago.
Like those.
Great for them.
Yeah, there's nothing like having your own place to do the good work, and they're definitely doing that.
Absolutely. You're watching the stream on CBS News Chicago. Keep it right here.
Yes, coming up on our 8 o'clock hour, a rare type of solar eclipse is happening this weekend. We've got a leader from Adler Planetarium joining us to tell us more about it.
Yeah, and what better way to spend your Friday the 13th than at a haunted house? Our Marissa Perlman, who's scared of haunted houses. Well, so we sent her to the basement of the dead, one of the scariest in the state, when we come back.
This is CBS 2 News.
Hi there, good morning, good to be with you. I'm Audrina Sinclair with your headlines here on CBS 2 and CBS News Chicago. First, let's get to meteorologist Gerard Bailey in the First Alert Weather Center with another rainy day we've got here.
Rainy, and we've got a weather alert today. It's going to be another busy weekend as we have a good amount of rainfall coming our way right now. Nothing yet, a lot of clouds, temperatures hovering in the 50s. One spot reporting a little bit of light rainfall there, Waukegan, but on the radar picture, most of our area is clear. This is ground clutter, but you can see all that rainfall getting ready to push into our area, and that will happen today. So what we're tracking, that heavy rainfall with some street flooding even possible later on this afternoon. Some storms this afternoon could also be severe, damaging winds possible over 60 miles per hour. Those strong wind gusts outside of thunderstorms, 25 to 30 miles per hour. The rain will continue into the weekend. We will not dry out until Tuesday, Wednesday. We could see it raining on the Bears game even on Sunday.
All right, thanks for the heads up on all of that, Gerard. Appreciate it. Let's get a check of your travel times right now as we look at our inbound side, keeping a close eye on that as people get out the door, head to work, wherever you got to go today. The inbound side slow on the inbound Kennedy as well as the inbound Eisenhower. And the city of Chicago says it wants to stay ahead of devastating floods like the one that so many experienced over the summer. Two committees that deal with public safety and also environmental issues are holding a special meeting today. They're going to hear from the Department of Transportation, also the Department of Water Management, and some others. The goal here is to really learn how to mitigate this, to get ahead of this and respond to extreme floods and the damage they cause for so many homeowners. Well, tomorrow, Edward Elmhurst Health will hold its annual Walk to Remember. It raises money for counseling and bereavement services for mothers who have lost a child in pregnancy. Such an important event. We'll see you on the stream right after this.
Clear.
This is CBS 2 News.
Airstrikes against Hamas continue to rain down as violence escalates. We are monitoring the latest developments on the war and the local families trying to locate loved ones.
And some good news for residents and business owners still recovering from severe floods. FEMA announcing new extensions. Everything you need to know about these deadlines.
Plus, we're continuing to monitor heavy rainfall that could produce flash floods for some of our area. Our First Alert team has you covered with what you can expect as you head out the door and head into the weekend. Good morning to you. I'm Audrina Sinclair. Thanks for streaming with us on this Friday, October 13th.
Yeah, it's an omen.
It is to some.
It's good to us. It's
Yeah,
Friday.
to me,
I just
it's a
focus
Friday.
on the Friday, exactly. Good morning, Audrina, and good morning, everybody. I'm Brad Edwards. We head straight to the top story right now, the threats of heavy rainfall.
And as we look outside this morning live at the Field Museum in Soldier Field, it's hard to tell the weather story, but there's a lot in store for us. We got a weather alert in place. Meteorologist Gerard DeBailey in the First Alert Weather Center now. What can we expect today?
Oh, we can expect a lot. But first, Brad, I'm very proud of you. You really saw the bright side on that Friday the 13th.
There we go.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, man, good for you. So everyone else is kind of feeling like, ooh, what kind of Friday is it going to be?
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to find out. It's not going to be the greatest once we get, especially in the afternoon. So that's just with the weather. We're not exactly the luckiest when it comes to that. Let's take you through the day. Okay, for now, not so bad. We've got a wind out of the east around 15 miles per hour, so it's a bit breezy. You can see the flags waving a bit. 58 degrees. It is on the mild side, but this is what's coming. A big storm system. While the center is over there towards Omaha, big burst of energy about to push right into us here, and that is going through parts of western Illinois right now. On the radar picture, this is ground clutter that we're seeing over there towards Joliet, but we do see some shower activity on the north end near McHenry, Waukegan, and then also back towards DeKalb. More of that to come. With it, also a chance for thunderstorms. Some of them could be strong and severe. It is a level 1 out of 5 threat today for all the areas you see right there. Not everyone, but we could see some storms get strong enough to produce damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. But regardless of that, everyone's going to be feeling some amount of wind today. It's going to be gusty with the rain and thunderstorms especially coming through this afternoon. This is the timing of future radar, putting it later this afternoon where the bulk of the heavy rain and thunderstorm activity will happen, especially from lunchtime to around 5 or 6 o'clock. We may get a small break in there, but not done. We've got a lot more shower activity that's going to happen overnight as well into your Saturday. The winds will shift from the east and southeast. We're going to see them come about to the north and northeast winds as we move into Saturday. That is going to create, again, some breezier to windy conditions, especially along the coastline. And we could be seeing some wave action crashing ashore too. But it's going to just be, again, a messy weekend as we are seeing it for the most part. Rain total significant. 1 to perhaps 2 inches of rainfall. We could see, again, some pockets of flooding in those areas too. 57 degrees today. Morning shower, so we've already seen around 58. We're pretty much at our high temperature. Afternoon, heavy rain and thunderstorms likely, and they will bring the wind with it too. Saturday still going to be pretty breezy or windy and wet. We'll see some improvements as we move into Sunday, around 50% chance for a shower or so. I don't think the Bears game is going to be completely washed out, but there's going to be some rainfall in and around the area. We'll finally start to dry out as we get a little bit later into next week. This is going to be a long period of rainfall chances all the way through Monday with this storm system, guys.
Okay, Gerard, thank you. As the area prepares for more rain, one community that struggles with some of the worst flooding in the region is taking action. Chatham is a neighborhood with a lot of concrete little green space after devastating floods this summer. The Greater Chatham Initiative, a community group, is teaming up with scientists from the U.S. Department of Energy, and they are going to prepare for the future. Researchers are developing new methodology and computer simulations for the neighborhood to try and predict flood risks in the future.
So climate change is not the only factor, but one of the critical factors when we see how we plan for the future and how it affects floods.
The National Research Team will be at work for the next 5 years. You can learn more about their work with their story on our website, cbschicago.com.
And the Chicago City Council is also trying to prepare for future floods and get ahead of it. They're going to hold a joint committee meeting to talk about that today. Public Safety Committee meeting with their Environmental Protection and Energy Committee. They'll also hear from the Department of Transportation. Joining the conversation also Water Management, the Metro Water Reclamation District. Lots of people getting in on this. The goal here is to learn more about how to mitigate and respond to floods that are yet to come, and hopefully prevent them. And the deadline to apply for disaster flood relief just days away. A heads up here, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, is accepting applications through Monday. This comes as people in Cicero and Chicago's West Side still struggling to recover from the severe flooding we had here over the summer. To contact FEMA, you can find locations, times, and more right now on our website, cbschicago.com. And now we move to the latest on the Israel-Hamas war. And right now, Israel has ordered an evacuation of part of Gaza. That's as airstrikes against Hamas rain down again today.
Yeah, Israeli officials say they have dropped 6,000 bombs over the past 6 days, and the death toll on both sides climbs, now topping 2,800 people. CBS News correspondent Chanel Call has the latest.
As Israel prepares for a potential ground invasion of Gaza, it's now warning the United Nations that more than 1 million people from the north must move south in the next day. But the UN says that's impossible without devastating humanitarian consequences. The situation for residents in Gaza, nearly half of them children, is already dire, with hospitals overwhelmed. Israel's aerial bombardment on suspected Hamas targets continues, now 7 days after the terror group launched a brutal surprise attack on multiple communities, killing men, women, and children.
Absolute pure hell that broke loose and destroyed everything that we know.
As the violence escalates, the U.S. State Department says it's arranging evacuation flights to get Americans out of Israel. The agency says at least 20,000 U.S. citizens have reached out since Hamas attacked.
We stand shoulder to shoulder with the people of Israel.
Yesterday, Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with leaders in Israel. Today, he's in Jordan for meetings with King Abdullah and Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas. Hamas is calling for worldwide protests today, prompting U.S. law enforcement to step up security in Jewish and Muslim communities. Fences have also been installed around the Capitol in Washington. Chanel Call, CBS News.
In a continued show of solidarity, Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin is meeting with leaders in Israel today. Secretary of State Blinken will also travel to Qatar, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia.
And today, the Chicago City Council is holding a special meeting where they'll vote on a resolution officially condemning the Hamas attack on Israel. The resolution was put forth by 50th Ward Alderwoman. It's set for 1:40 p.m. at City Hall.
And we will carry that live on the stream. And of course, we will continue monitoring the situation and continue keeping you up with the latest developments right here on our digital streaming network, CBS News Chicago.
And this morning, we're keeping a very close eye on the trial of 2 people accused of mishandling the case of A.J. Freund. His closing arguments and the judge's ruling are expected today. This is the 5-year-old Crystal Lake boy who was tortured and abused by his parents, leading to his death in 2019. Former DCFS caseworkers Carlos Acosta and Andrew Perlman are on trial in McHenry County. Prosecutors say those workers ignored the red flags in the months before A.J. was killed.
You're watching the stream on CBS News Chicago. Keep it right here.
Yes, lots to come. Ahead, possible relief for your pockets, what the latest government data reveals about our economic health and why experts are calling it a winning streak. We'll have that and more coming up.
We have a red alert day for our weather. We are tracking a strong storm system that's going to produce heavy rainfall. Flooding will be possible, a threat for some severe thunderstorms with damaging winds, but it'll also be quite breezy. We're tracking heavy rainfall through today and into your weekend. We'll have the details coming up.
Welcome back to the stream on this Friday. We appreciate you being with us on the Money Watch this morning. Wall Street snapped a 4-day winning streak over worries the latest inflation report could spur another interest rate hike from the Federal Reserve.
And we'll get to that in just a moment. First, there's some welcome news for seniors about their Social Security payments because benefits are set to increase next year due to a 3.2% cost of living adjustment. The Social Security Administration says the average benefit will jump about $50. That's set to start in January. Now, despite the higher payments, which is always a good thing, the new increase is not quite as high as the 8.7% jump that people got last year.
The latest government data shows inflation cooled slightly last month, as you just heard, basically from Marissa. Consumer prices rose just under 0.5% from August to September, which is down from the month before. Price hikes at the grocery store are getting closer to normal levels. However, rent remains a problem, with housing costs rising more than 7%.
And despite the reported cool down, we do have some disappointing news for you. Chipotle announcing it's raising their prices once again. The company has yet to reveal by how much they will increase their food items, but they say the revenues are healthy. Other companies like PepsiCo, the beverage giant, said it also raised prices by 11%. And I think we're all feeling it. No matter what brands you buy, it's more.
Always.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to turn. Miscarriages, stillbirths, and neonatal deaths. Pregnancy loss affects 1 in 4 women, yet it's often a difficult topic to talk about.
Yeah, it is. And tomorrow, families who have experienced that pain are going to come together to remember the child they've lost and also support each other. The Stream's Murrow Odigwe spoke with one mother about her journey and how she's using it to help others.
I cried so hard that I felt like my eyeballs were going to just burst out of my face.
They say grief is the price we pay for love. And as Andrea Dioria will tell you, it never goes away.
It's not something you think you're going to do. You don't think you're going to watch your first baby die in your arms.
Back in 2016, her daughter Gigi was born with a congenital heart defect. For days, doctors tried to save her. On the 11th day, they told Andrea and her husband it was time to say goodbye.
I held her, I stroked her forehead, and we just cried and waited.
Andrea says she retreated into herself for a while, never really going out or seeking help past what her family and friends could provide. That's until she got pregnant with her second child. That's when she knew she needed more help. So she reached out to folks with the Share and Sharing Hope program at Edward Elmhurst Health. The group offers support to parents who've lost a child during pregnancy and those who have experienced a loss and are now pregnant or considering pregnancy.
A lot of the thoughts in my head just they felt crazy to me, and it was so nice to be in a group where others were like, yes, I'm thinking that too, and it is normal, and here's how we deal with it.
It was the small things that brought her peace, like the hospital's Wings of Hope Angel Garden, where Gigi's name, along with other babies, are etched on the wall and ground.
In my house, we call it Gigi's Garden.
Andrea is now a share and support volunteer, giving other mothers space to talk about their loss, the same love and care she received. This year, she's serving as a co-chair for Edward Elmhurst's annual A Walk to Remember fundraiser. The 1.5-mile family event will help raise money for the counseling services that Share provides. Part of that money will go toward building a bereavement room at the hospital, a quiet space for families grieving a recent loss. And for Andrea, who's since had 2 more children, the fundraiser is her chance to be Gigi's mom again.
Grief in this world is really isolating. If we can show people that their pain is real, they really went through trauma, and we can come out on the other side of it together, I think that's really important.
So she's learning to live with and around Gigi's loss. She often tells people she's a mother of 3, Penny and Zach here on Earth, and Gigi in heaven.
I want her to know that she's loved, and I hope that she sees us honoring her every day and as much as we can.
In Naperville, Mugo Odigwe, CBS 2 News.
Edward Elmhurst A Walk to Remember fundraiser is set for tomorrow morning at the Riverwalk Grand Pavilion in downtown Naperville. Activities begin at 8:30, then the walk at 10:15, and we'll have much more information on our website, cbschicago.com.
Important event there. You're watching the stream on CBS News Chicago. This is Audrina. I'm Brad. We do appreciate you being with us on this Friday.
Yes, we do. And get your taste buds ready.
I'm ready for this.
We're taking you on a quick trip to Summit, where a Mexican franchise is reviving the neighborhood with some yummy stuff and some vibrant colors. We got Foodie Friday coming up.
Welcome back to the stream. I'm Brad Edwards.
And I'm Audrina Sinclair.
We appreciate being with us on this Friday. It's the 13th, and we're over the 13th because it is not Friday the 13th. It's Foodie Friday.
Foodie Friday. That's what we celebrate.
Foodie Friday. We're highlighting a restaurant whose name tells you how popular it is.
Yes, our Jamaica Ponder is in studio with us, which we love to have you here.
Good morning.
Foodie Friday.
Sit with us.
Yes, in full effect.
Yes.
All right, so we're talking about El Famoso Burrito.
Yes, we are.
And this is a...
Nailed it.
Thank you. Because it's an important place, and it's a comeback story that we're talking about, and you were there for the grand reopening in Summit.
Yes, and when they had their grand reopening, it happened to be in the middle of the Mexican Independence Day festivities, so the lines were out the door. People were just so excited to be there, and this location had been closed for 6 years.
Wow.
So, and it was the original in a chain of locations, and so it meant so much to the owner that he was able to come back home in a sense.
Yes.
So yeah, let's take a look.
Believe it or not, there was once a time
when there was no Mexican food in the suburbs.
Then Benny came to town.
I started this company in 1985. After that, it's a history.
Benny Sagredo and his family are responsible for the dozen El Famous Burrito restaurants dotted across the western suburbs.
So my dad actually started off with I think it was 20 locations.
His daughter Isabel Sagredo and her 2 sisters, along with his wife Alma, are all part of the thriving business.
That's what helps the business run really well. When you have family that understand your work ethic, and work exactly like you.
And can support you when things take a turn for the worst.
It wasn't a huge fire. It was just a little small fire that we had up in one of the apartments.
But it was enough to shut down their original location in Summit.
Then the pandemic hit, so that kind of just delayed everything else.
Keeping them closed for 6 years.
The process has been a roller coaster for sure.
But this year, the grills were finally turned back on.
She's a master.
And now,
My daughters, they kind of big now, so I want to revive it.
Isabel and her sisters are running the show.
They just became ready to do it.
As I got older, I really enjoyed being here, and I wanted to, keep that legacy alive.
Judging by the rotating door of diners, she's not the only one.
Did you imagine that with the corona?
And Benny in all of this.
It's an advisor, but I'm still working. That's what.
After nearly 40 years of doing business,
I don't know. I'm going on vacation.
maybe not quite yet. There are still a few things left to learn.
I always say, oh, I'm learning from him, and he'll say, oh no, I'm learning from her.
For these two, it clearly goes both ways.
Good thing that I have my daughters, that especially the Isabel.
All right, so I love seeing the family aspect to this too, Jamaica. It seems like there's a duo going on here.
Absolutely, absolutely. That was the entire ethos of my conversation with both of them was the fact that they relied on and learned so much from one another. And it was so cool to see this kind of intergenerational teamwork that was going on, because her dad's able to bring in just so much expertise as it pertains to running an actual business. But then Isabel, she's able to see what the future needs to look like and how they can move forward. They were talking to me about getting tacos in Poland. They're trying to get tacos in Japan. So they're thinking international, So it's great to see that their original location is really going to be the start of that.
Love it.
And we love a story of a comeback, and they have come back. So thank you, Jamaica.
And we love Foodie Friday.
We do. We love food. You're watching the stream on CBS News Chicago. We appreciate you doing that.
Yes, we do. And we do love food, Brad. All right, it's Hollow Stream. Get ready to get spooked. There's Marissa and Jackie. Hey, we're walking you through a deadly haunted house with our very own gals. Hey, ladies, we'll see you soon.
This is CBS 2 News.
And I'm Brad Edwards with your headlines on CBS 2 and CBS News Chicago. Let's first go to our friend meteorologist Gerard Bailey for today's wet forecast. Gerard.
Hey, good morning. It's not here yet, but it's on the way. This morning, at least, we're fairly dry. Mostly seeing clouds, but not everyone. Outside there, looking at Soldier Field, it's going to be likely seeing some rainfall on Sunday. Waukegan right now is reporting some rainfall. Everyone's in the 50s, but here you go on the radar picture, starting to see that rainfall moving in, especially out west. We'll likely see some heavy rain and thunderstorm activity moving through the afternoon. So that street flooding and ponding is going to be possible with some of these thunderstorms as well. To our west, we'll see that threat for some of these storms to be strong to severe with some damaging winds. Even then, gusty winds 25, 30 miles per hour today. So your 7-day forecast into this weekend, it's really going to be messy with the storm system. We will not dry out until around Tuesday of next week.
Okay, Gerard, thank you. Let's get a quick chime at travel times right now as you're heading out on this Friday. And looks like some of you are taking the day off, only in the orange. Not much to worry about there. Closing arguments and a ruling are expected in the trial of two former DCFS employees. Prosecutors say they missed red flags in the horrifying case of A.J. Freund, the 5-year-old Crystal Lake boy who was murdered in 2019. Police reports and DCFS records indicate a history of problems at the boy's home. His parents were convicted of his murder. A new report from Chicago's Inspector General says 110 CPD officers who filed false police reports are still on the force despite a department rule. The IG recommends those officers be terminated. And the Chicago Fine Arts Building is celebrating its 125th anniversary. You can join the celebration at 410 South Michigan Avenue between 5 and 9 tonight. You can find everything from a free concert to exhibits featuring dozens of artists and other free programs. Sounds like a great event. Thank you for joining us. Make it a great day.
Clear.
I'm totally with you, Lee. I'm 100%.
Bottom of the hour here on this Friday, October 13th. Thank you so much for streaming with us on CBS News Chicago. I'm Audrina Sinclair.
I'm Brad Edwards. We start with developing news. Closing arguments are expected for the two former child welfare workers. Of course, we all remember this case, charged in connection with the death of A.J. Freund, 5-year-old, in 2019.
Yeah, just a tragic story. We both covered this since then. The two are charged with endangering a child's life and reckless conduct. We have Darius Johnson on the story this morning, joining us from the newsroom to tell us what we can expect today after we heard days of testimony.
At 9:30 this morning, we can expect closing arguments to begin at the McHenry County Courthouse. And then after that, the judge presiding over this trial will give a ruling for the two. Carlos Acosta and Andrew Polovin are charged with endangering the life of a child and reckless conduct. Prosecutors say the two ignored red flags. 5-year-old A.J. Freund was reported missing from his Crystal Lake home back in April of 2019. His body was found a week later in a shallow grave. His parents were convicted on murder charges, and police reports and DCFS records indicate a history of problems at the family's home. An ER doctor and an officer who witnessed bruises on AJ took the stand throughout the trial. In both instances, cases were closed and bruises were left ignored. We spoke to our legal analyst about the rare charges against child welfare workers.
That is probably the most important decision that the state could make, to remove a child from their parents' home. And the department has shown throughout the years that they don't always make the right decision in the decision-making process that they're supposed to be going through.
Neither of the two former child welfare workers testified during the trial. AJ's parents, if you remember, were convicted on murder charges in connection to his death. His mother, Joanne Cunningham, was sentenced to 35 years in prison, while his father, Andrew Freund Sr., was sentenced to 30 years. In the newsroom this morning, I'm Darius Johnson, CBS 2 News.
Darius, thank you so much for those updates. Happening tonight, commuters are heading out in protest, demanding better service on the CTA, along with a change of leadership. The organization Commuters Take Action is gathering at CTA headquarters. That's going to start at 5:30 today. They're speaking out about recent cuts to rail schedules, and they say the changes will make long wait times and also crowd the train cars, and it'll make it even worse, they say. They also want CTA President Dorval Carter to be fired. And taking a live look now outside here at 8:32, it looks pretty good. But I hear we are under a weather alert. We've been tracking that all morning. Meteorologist Gerard Bailey joining us now to talk more about that.
It's coming. I said it will get here as we move to the afternoon. We're just already seeing some rainfall moving into the western parts of the area, but you're right. So far, so good for Chicago itself here. We're not having too many problems on the roads. It's not the worst of Fridays as far as weather is concerned yet, but things are going to be degrading, unfortunately. Right now, 58 degrees, lots of clouds out there. We do have the wind around 10 to 15 miles per hour out of the east. No problems yet, but it's going to get very messy as we move through later on this afternoon. Here's what we're tracking. Heavy rainfall. Some of that will be enough for some street flooding or some ponding in some areas. The severe weather threat, it's actually coming up. We'll talk about that, and also strong winds gusting 25 to 30 miles per hour today. So this is going to be a pretty messy day for weather, and this is why we've got this pretty huge storm system just to our west and southwest, centered over Omaha, but a big band of heavy rainfall as a big burst of energy is coming with that, and that's where we're going to really start to see things deteriorate quickly here. So getting some rainfall up towards DeKalb, up towards Waukegan. Some of these areas to our west are starting to get it. Maybe a light shower just offshore here from Chicago, but we'll see the rainfall chances ramping up to a guarantee by the afternoon. Some storms could be strong to severe. It is a level 1 out of 5 threat today, with some of them being capable of some damaging winds, and that's going to be the main threat. But again, it's just a 1 out of 5 threat. That's the good news. Not everyone's going to see it, and the chances are fairly low, but we're going to still get some wind from this regardless, whether you get hit by those big thunderstorms or not. All right, so moving ahead through the afternoon, rain becoming likely. There it is, moving through by the late afternoon especially. May get a short break this evening, but we'll still see scattered showers, possibly rumble of thunder through the night. The winds will shift direction. We'll be out of the north tomorrow, and it'll still be very gusty, 25 to 30 miles per hour at times. And as you notice, our temperatures pretty much stay in the 50s. Rainfall total is significant here. We're talking 1 to 2 inches, generally speaking, but definitely some areas will see more than that, which could also lead to some pockets of flooding, as we've been talking about. So today we have those morning showers just kind of hanging around, but we're really going to see the activity picking up and really spreading across the whole area, becoming a guarantee by the late afternoon. Heavy rainfall likely, and that's going to linger a bit into your Saturday. The worst of it's going to happen today, but still showers and breezy as we move into Saturday. We'll get a little bit of improvement moving into your Sunday, so it's not a complete washout all weekend long. Sunday's going to be the better of the 2 days, but not dry completely. We will not see our weather really improving to seeing sunshine and dry conditions until we get closer to Tuesday. The Bears may also be seeing some rainfall in the middle of that game on Sunday.
All right, Gerard, thank you so much. Okay, so Gerard likes Halloween. Brad loves Halloween. It's spooky
But not
season.
being scared.
But not being scared.
Right.
But today, it doesn't matter because we're doing haunted houses. We're tackling that. We're taking you and showing you where you can go if haunted houses and Halloween are your thing.
Marissa is apparently a scaredy pants too.
Marissa, I'm with you.
We sent her right in to the scariest place in Illinois, in Aurora. Yeah, right.
Are you swimming out?
What's going on, Marissa?
Oh, I don't like the sounds.
You guys, my heart is beating so fast right now. I am freaking out a little. Jackie Kostek is here. Yeah, I had to bring in some reinforcements because I could not do this alone. And I'm also absolutely terrified, even though I just scared you. My heart is like beating out of my chest. This is one of the let's go. Let's go. We're gonna start this journey. And my word of choice when I'm scared is gonna be. Oh God! Oh my God! Oh my God! Okay, so be ready to do it. This is one of the scariest. 2017, this was voted one of the scariest haunted houses. I don't know. There is like backwards. Oh my God! Here is to like tap into some of your biggest fears. They have all of the actors here work really hard to scare you. Oh my gosh! Oh my God! This looks like a Dead Sea adventure gone wrong. I'm impressed that you can talk right now. This is like, okay, yeah. So here's we're just, I think going through the map, the whole basement of the haunted house. Oh my God. What is alive and what's not? I know, that's the hilarious part. There's nothing alive. I don't want to go in there. I don't want to go. You're coming to my house? You're coming into my house and you choose that right now? Do you see the mess you're leaving on my carpet? Oh my God! Oh my God. That sounds like my mom. She's back. We're going into the house. All right. You first. Let's do this. Okay, we're done. Okay. Jackie. I don't know what's alive and what's not. Let's go. Oh my God, we've got reinforcements here. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, so we're making our way through. I'm so overstimulated. I'm so overstimulated.
Tell us how you really feel.
We have so much to show you.
I didn't get anything out of that report. Like I don't hear anything they said.
I couldn't hear that. I heard screams.
Where they are is scary, you know?
It is. And you know, sometimes it's hard to figure out during the season, like where to go with your family, what to do. So ladies, thank you for taking one for the team, getting scared out of your brains at the basement of the Dead. This is located at 42 West New York Street in Aurora. It's open Wednesday through Sunday.